So these are new cards we're going to be considering for this deck. So we obviously have the Baron de Fleur, which we're going to be replacing Satellite Warrior with. Baron negates one card effect per turn, can once per turn pop a card on the field, and you can once per turn during your standby phase remove him from play back to the extra deck and special summon a level 9 or lower monster from your graveyard. So that's an amazing card. We're going to be trying him out. Also going to be trying out number 23 Lancelot. So Lancelot's a generic level 8 monster. It can attack your opponent directly when it has material. When it inflicts battle damage to an opponent, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and once per turn, during either player's turn, when a spell or trap card or another monster effect is activated, detach an XYZ material and negate the activation. That effect is not optional, so basically Lancelot's going to negate the first effect that they try and activate on their turn. So I want to try him out. The reason I'm trying him out is because Moulin Glacier is a level 8, and we can use the trick with Mermail Abyssmander to make our level 7 Mermails into level 8 and make them that way. Also, if you exceed using Moulin Glacier, then he doesn't consider to have left the field. So you can make him into an XC monster and then detach, get Moulin Glacier into graveyard without removing him from the field officially. So he doesn't trigger his effect to make you lose your battle phase. So that's why we're trying out number 23. And other card that we're trying out is the new card Ice Barrier. So Ice Barrier's first effect is you can change an attacking monster attack to 0 and negate its effects. And the second effect, which is the one we care about, is you can banish it from your graveyard to send a level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard and add a water monster from your graveyard to your hand, any water monster. It locks you into special summoning water monsters, but that's okay. We aren't too worried about that effect. But basically what this lets us do is we can use Foolish Burial Goods to send this to our graveyard and then immediately activate it to tutor any level 5 or higher water monster, which means we can tutor Abyss Megalo, we can tutor Teus, we can tutor Moulin Glacier, we can tutor Gameciel. All like Gameciel and Abyss Teus previously were very difficult to get. Basically, you had to draw them, and now we have a way to search them on turn 1. So that's going to be making for some really interesting plays. I'm going to try out 2 Foolish Burial Goods. I don't want to run 3 because I'm only running 1 copy of Ice Barrier. You don't really want to draw Ice Barrier. We need a way to get it in the graveyard right away. So I'm going to try 1 Ice Barrier, 2 Foolish Burial Goods, see how that plays. We're starting to up our spell count a little bit. It's good and it's bad. We don't want to have too many spells because our water monsters are... Not having enough water monsters make it so that we can't necessarily summon stuff. But the advantage of it is when we have spells that search, it baits Ash. So usually we just want to normal summon Diva, and we need ways to bait Ash. So this is another card that'll bait an Ash effect. So I'm pretty excited to try these out. Cards we're going to cut, 2 copies of the Abyss Megalo and 1 copy of Abyss Gund. That's in the main deck. And for the extra deck, we're going to cut True King since the number 23 is replacing him, and we're going to cut Satellite Warrior, replaced with Baron de Fleur. Now you can watch me waste my wild cards. Generate 2. Thank you. And then generate Ice Bearer. Generate 1. And we will generate Baron de Fleur. Generate. And we will generate a 23 Lancelot. Alright, now let's test it out. Okay. So, first hand. Normally this hand would be a brick. We are going second. Normally this hand would be a complete brick. We would only be able to normal summon one of our heavy infantries and then do another additional normal summon. Maybe try and make Bislacia, but because we have this search spell, we can show off exactly how Ice Barrier works. So, draw another dead card. Doesn't matter. We're going to use the Foolish Burial Goods, send the Ice Barrier to graveyard, activate it. We can send any level 5 or higher water. So we're going to send Teus, add Teus to our hand. We are locked into water monsters, but to do our primary combo, we can, if say we were going first, we could do this full combo without summoning a single non-water monster, rip 3 cards from our opponent's hand, and set up a bunch of negates. So we are going second, so we're going to have to be a little more interactive. Our Teus gets negated, so we can't do an amazing combo. We're just going to use the Dragoons in the graveyard to search for a Abyss Megalo, pop his field, attack multiple times. That's the game. We had also not used our normal summon, so we could even use the Deep Sea Aria to search for a Deep Sea Diva and summon again. Alright, so we're on to another game. Now, this hand is our typical combo. We do have a copy of the Foolish Bale Goods, but we already have Teus in hand. If we didn't have Teus, we could use Foolish to get the Ice Barrier and summon Teus, add Teus to hand, and then we could do this exact combo. So, just extra copies of Teus. It doesn't have to be Teus either. We could add a, if we're going second, we could add a Kaiju to our hand, a Gameciel. We could Kaiju our opponent's board. Searching for a Kaiju in this deck before was not possible. Like, honestly, that I think alone makes this addition worth it. So we're just going to show off. This is just the typical combo. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. We're doing the rip cards from our opponent's hand, rip 3 cards from our hand with Trishula. So we're going to use Moon Glacier to take out the first 2, and then we're going to summon Trishula and rip the third. So I've shown this combo a bunch of times, so I'm going to speed it up. But basically, we search for a Megalo and clear our field, so give up our battle phase with the Mistar Boy to make enough space so we can summon all the things we need. Now there is an addition to this combo from the new deck that I can show off, and that is the Baron de Fleur. So before, we could go into Satellite Warrior and pop some cards on our opponent's field, but that isn't always great. Now this combo, because we're not locked into waters on our opponent's turn, we can summon the Baron and get an extra negate. So we'll have actually 2 negates instead of 1. So, well, actually 3 negates technically, because we're also able to make the Dragite. So we have 1 spell negate, 1 negate with Toad, that's an Omnigate, and we have a negate with Baron. So I'll show you right here. We're going to negate with Dragite. Once we have priority again, we're going to use Hulk of Fibrax to get the Synchron, Formula Synchron. We do this after we have priority so that it doesn't miss timing. We get to draw an additional card. And now we can Synchro using the Dragite that we already used. It's negated an effect already this turn, so it can't negate again. And we can get the Baron de Fleur. Now we have another Omni negate. So we still have Toad, and we have Baron de Fleur. Like, this is amazing. Baron is honestly so strong. It's kind of ridiculous. Our opponent's going to try their best with Salamangreats, but we're just going to negate Baron. It's free. 1 negate per turn. So that gets negated. Sorry, opponent. I feel bad. They're going to set their 1 card, but doesn't matter what it is. Baron can negate. We still have Toad. We're going to use Baron's other effect to pop that card, force him to activate. Doesn't matter. Toad's going to negate it. We still have 5 cards in hand. Honestly, like, I don't even need to play these cards. The only reason this is going to go on 1 more turn is we've lost our battle phase, but losing our battle phase doesn't matter. We have 2 negates. No single card could get through this. We're going to extend a little further because there's no reason not to. Make Bislesia. We'll be able to pop a face-up card on the field, and we'll have an additional spell negate with the Mermail spell card. So this board is, with us drawing a single card, I don't think there's a single card that could win from this position. So there you go. Our opponent, very brave, not going to concede here. So they're going to draw their last card. They're going to activate. I have no choice. It's negated by my spell. And now we attack for lethal. So quite the game, and shows off the power of Baron de Fleur and the Ice Barrier Trap. Although we didn't use it this game, we hadn't drawn the Abyss Teus, we could have used it to get it to Teus. So real powerful card. Definitely keeping these additions in the deck for now. Alright, well, I got 1 more game for you. Okay, so in this last game, we don't have any of our new cards in hand, so no Ice Barrier, but we're gonna see if we can show off the power of Baron de Fleur with our typical combo. So this is the kind of diva combo where we rip 2 cards from our opponent's hand. Normally, we would end this board with a Appaloosa with a bunch of monster negates, but Appaloosa isn't always great. If our opponent's not playing a monster deck, then monster negates don't matter that much. So our opponent's playing Ancient Gears. Ancient Gears uses a lot of fusion spells. It uses a lot of fusion spells. So, you know, a monster effect negation isn't really necessary. So instead of doing that, we're going to use our Hulk of Fibrax, and we're going to show off how we can use Moon Glacier now, which is something we couldn't do previously, to make a synchro on our opponent's turn. So because Baron de Fleur is a generic synchro, we can make him using Moon Glacier, whereas the Satellite Warrior before, we needed to use a Synchro monster that was level 8 with our Formula Synchron. So it really is giving us additional plays. And we could even make the Baron with a Deep Sea Diva and Duel Glacia too. Like, just it's so much easier to make, and it's so much more powerful. So showing off here, we're doing this when we have priority so that we get to draw a card. And we're gonna make the Baron. Our opponent still has 3 cards in hand, but we can pop a face up. We have a Kaiju. We can pop a face up with Basileus here. We're gonna pop this. Now our opponent gets the Thoughtseize us. They rip a card from our hand, but it doesn't matter. Like, we have so much value at this point. And now it's our turn again. Baron. So this is just, yeah, Baron. We haven't even used Baron yet. Baron's going to just negate this because it's their end phase. They can't do anything else. And once it's our turn again, Baron can negate another effect. And he can pop a face-up card. Like, Baron is so good. This card singularly makes Mermail so much stronger than it was before. And alright, so I think I showed off all these new cards. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe for more, and have a good night.